Hello everybody. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I was trying to go live, but somehow it wouldn't connect, so I just decided to upload the video, give you all an area view of where I am today. God is good. Just driving, I said to myself, wow, it's beautiful today. Beautiful area where I am. Very serene. What I consider an upscale area. Very nice. Thank you all for joining me. You see the smoke coming off the water a little ways out. I'm at the marina. Most of you probably heard the content pertaining to a New York bishop who was robbed during Sunday service. He and his wife. One source will say that he was robbed of over $400,000 worth of jewelry. Law and Crime Network is estimating it at $1 million. Let's go here. 400,000, 1 million. I don't think it's going to matter once you get into those high digits of six figures and beyond. It's sad, actually, because one would say, why are you wearing all that jewelry in church? Why are you buying all that jewelry and you're a bishop, pastor, a man of the cloth? Why is your wife wearing all this expensive jewelry in the church? He makes a point to say that the gunman held a gun towards his 8-month-old child. And in the video, you'll see him lying on the floor, face down, being robbed of his goods. 3 men, masked gunmen, storm the gate, bust through the doors. So one would also ask, do you normally keep the doors locked? Do you let so many people come in and then you lock the doors? Well, what about if someone was coming in late? How would they be able to get in? Many questions. 25 people were present at the time, so he says, during service. When you look at the video, you also see a guy in a corner. He looks, I don't know, his expression is kind of interesting. It's kind of like, I don't know. I can't explain it exactly. It's like he's not saying anything. But most people would probably say, what could he say? He doesn't want to get shot, so he's not saying anything. But he didn't seem actually fearful, the guy that was sitting in the corner. If you watch the video to the left of the screen, he's not saying anything. I'm just saying the look on his face is strange to me. But many people are going to question the bishop. His motivation behind being a man of the cloth, walking into service with all this jewelry, then stating, how much the jewelry was worth and how much was taken, the value of the jewelry off of himself and his wife, and them pointing a gun at the child. So did they take jewelry off of anybody else in the church? Hell, why not rob everybody? They're robbing you and your wife, so why not steal everybody else's goods? Pocketbooks, purses, wallets, their jewelry, their credit cards, whichsoever. Why not? You're in there. You're already in there robbing the head honcho. Why not steal everybody's goods? Were others robbed during the church service? I'm just curious. Then you see him on IG during this Law and Crime video, interview with him, whatever. He's wearing a Louis Vuitton jacket, very jazzy looking. Now, I'm all for name brand items. I don't have a problem with anyone wearing name brand. I mean, I've worn name brand items myself. I've had a lot of name brand purses. I've had Dooney & Burke. I've had Louis Vuitton myself. But when you are of the cloth, you are supposed to set a different standard as far as appearance. And when people see you dazzled up with elite brands such as Louis Vuitton on your clothing, they may start to wonder, why are you in this arena of pastoring? Because what I found out is he said it was only 25 in the church service. So what I have to ask myself is the ultimate question. One, how big is the building that they hold church in? Can it hold more than 25 people? If it's a small building, small room rather, one's going to wonder, how are you being able to afford the luxuries that you're wearing? Do you also have a full-time job besides being a bishop, you and your wife? Where do you live? Those are pertinent questions. Does he and his wife have alternative income? Do they go to a job 9 to 5 during the week? Because if you're saying you only had 25 parishioners in church, one's going to ask the ultimate question. How big was the building, the facility, the room? Do you normally have 25 or more in church? Can you house more than 25 people? Can you house 100, 200? And the clincher is when he says celebrity status, that this is to be expected of a pastor or bishop with celebrity status. Oh, you're famous in New York? I've never heard of you. So enlighten the queen. Who are you exactly? A bishop with celebrity status in New York City. And this is the reason why they robbed you, because you're somebody famous, somebody that sits up in the pulpit talking about, I'm assuming, G-O-D and the good book, I'm assuming, and then you're dazzled with bling bling, you and your wife. So these people were watching, looking, lurking, heard about you, and decided to rob the church that day. Very interesting. And he's basically tooting his own horn that, hey, I'm a celebrity here in New York City, so it's to be expected that I get robbed. Well, then if it's expected for you to get robbed because you have celebrity status, and perhaps you should have celebrity status security. How about that? Maybe you should have had celebrity status security to where somebody couldn't just kick in the damn door, excuse me, Lord, and rob you and your wife and traumatize your congregants. And I'm sure they are petrified, and I'm sure they don't want to return to church. But we already know there's some good faith members who probably like old Bishop and the wife. They will return to church and risk their livelihood to be robbed again, because he'll probably come back to church with more jewelry on, and somebody else will kick in the door. Maybe next time he won't be so lucky. I'm just saying. He said they exited the building and got into a white Mercedes. Well, what year was the Mercedes? I'm just curious. I'm throwing a little shade, but I'm just wondering. Because, hell, if they get away with robbing bishops and other people of celebrity status, they're probably living really well, these robbers. Or are they just hood thugs? Curious. And where are they going to sell the jewelry? Let's go there. Everybody in New York now knows that he and the wife were robbed. So where are they going to sell the goods? How are they going to sell the goods? Who are they going to sell the goods to? It's too risky to sell the goods anywhere. Jewelry store in the state of New York, in the general area, neighboring states, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Where are these thugs going to sell that man's jewelry? His bishop ring was stolen. Interesting. And where are they going to sell that? So you're going to steal all this jewelry, but you can't sell it to anybody. If you sell it, you're not going to get half the value of what he spent on the jewelry, if indeed it's worth what he says it's worth. I mean, I almost passed out when I heard the value of the jewelry from Law and Crime Network at $1 million. I thought, wow. We went up from 400,000 to 1 million. You're wearing that kind of jewelry in church, and you got regular people in there patronizing the Lord's house, trying to get the good word. People with regular jobs, probably not making no more than $16, $17 an hour themselves, or hell, maybe $9, $10 an hour. Who knows? But nonetheless, probably working class citizens giving up their worldly pocketbook to you, so you can live high off the hog, you and your wife and your 8-month-old baby. It's ridiculous. And as I said, there's nothing wrong with having wealth. There's nothing wrong with being prosperous, successful. And we know that when people become wealthy, they will buy name brand items. That's no secret. But many people will judge you to be sitting in the Lord's house, dappled down with allegedly $400,000 worth of jewelry or more on you and your wife, and regular people are patronizing, barely living, probably still living in public housing, subsidized housing, and they're going in there giving up their good money to tithe while you're living well off the hog, draped down in Louis Vuitton shirts and jackets and blazers, and living God knows where, nice estate somewhere, nice home, 2-car garage, a dog, a cat, and a goldfish. I think y'all know where I'm going. It's sad to me. Very, very sad to me. It's very, very sad to me. See, I'm looking out at this water today, humbled, glad to be alive, grateful. I told myself that today when I was driving through to get here. I thought, wow, look how pretty it is. Look at the wonderful neighborhoods, lush green lawns, pretty houses. I mean, nice houses. I ain't talking about no okey-doke houses either. Nice homes. People have good lives. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm sure most of these people in this neighborhood I'm in, it's an upscale area where I'm sitting right now, but are they draped in Louis Vuitton? Maybe not. People are running behind me on the path behind me, and I don't see any Louis Vuitton t-shirts or ball caps on. Just people getting their daily exercise in. I think y'all know where I'm going with this. I think this pastor, bishop, whatever he wants to call himself, is like a lot of people. They get to a certain place in life where they lose sight of what is important. And it's not to be judgmental, but one is going to question his motivation behind what he's doing as far as delivering the word to the public. And the fact that he only had 25 congregants in the room and he's sitting there with $400,000 worth of jewelry on, one would wonder, what is his motivation? What are his goals? What is the end game for leading people to the water, as they would say? Leading the flock. Where are you leading them to? Where are you trying to take your congregants, Bishop? To Macy's, Bloomingdale's? I'm just asking. Because I doubt that these people have probably $50,000 worth of jewelry on their persons or in their home. So one's going to ask the ultimate question. How did you and your wife afford $400,000 to $1 million worth of jewelry? 2, why are you wearing it to church in urban America? And 3, do you think it's appropriate to wear that type of jewelry to church? And should you be spending your money on that type of luxury items as a pastor? Not a famous person, not a rapper, not a musician, not an actor, actress, but a man leading people to the Lord. Do you think it is appropriate, Bishop, to spend all your money on flamboyant jewelry to wear to church, you and your wife, when you are serving the general public in 9 times out of 10, an urban neighborhood with working class people? Do you think that's appropriate to be doused in with bling bling at $500,000 while these people are working class people, maybe middle class, barely living, trying to survive, and looking at their pastor, bishop, blinged out, he and his wife? I'm just saying. Hell, what did the baby have on? Did the baby have a rope chain on? I'm just asking. Just curious. We're in a time right now where things are expensive. Gas is up, down, up, down. Groceries are high. Food is high right now. A bag of the potato chips, name brand, $4 a bag. A bag of Doritos, Cheetos. Let's keep it real. Rent has gone up. Electric, gas, to heat the water so you can have hot water in your home. Everything's gone up. And you have a bishop blinged out in $400,000 jewelry, he and his wife in church. At a time when people are barely living, barely surviving, unemployed, people sick, people can't find a place to live, people homeless, people being evicted because they weren't able to continue to pay their rent from the COVID 2020. Not making enough hours on a job. Various reasons. People are poor, homeless, destitute, going place to place, couch to couch. And you have a bishop wearing $400,000 jewelry in church. Don't you all think about that? And maybe he'll think about it. Maybe he'll say to himself, I shouldn't be spending this money on this jewelry. Nothing wrong with a couple of key pieces, you know, a nice ring or two, a bracelet. But all that other bling bling necklaces, come on now. You're a pastor. Let's get this Bishop, excuse me. Whatever that means. I'm just going to say it. I think he's doing too much. The wife, too. You should have known better. And the message you're sending to your congregants and the public is that you value material items that really don't look appropriate for people that's administering the word. Just going to say it. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with having nice jewelry, whatever the value is of the jewelry. But to just come in, doused up, I mean, I just don't think it's appropriate. Especially when you put a dollar amount on it. And that's the problem. For all we know, it's not even worth $400,000, $200,000. Hell, it might even be worth $50,000. Could be just some cubic zirconias and some fake gold. And wouldn't you all be stunned to find out that jewelry ain't even real? Welcome to America. I want to thank you all for joining me. It's a short video pertaining to this nonsense out of New York. You're entitled to your opinion and your beliefs, but I don't agree with any pastor, wife, bishop, whomever, priest, going in church doused up with rings, jewelry, bracelets, and then put a price tag on how much it's worth once it's been stripped off their necks and wrists and hands. I think it's disgusting, quite frankly. Maybe you and your wife should pick another field to go in, too. Yeah, maybe so. If you'd like to donate to the channel, this network, Everyday Shenanigans, $sign Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Tomorrow, Tyandra Duff will be laid to rest. I want to get more information pertaining to the stories I brought to you last week. I will bring you an update. Today is a cloudy day here in East Tennessee, but as you can see, it's a vainglorious day. People are out running, walking, fishing here at the marina. It's a beautiful place, gorgeous place. Immaculate homes around me. God is good, let me tell you. He's blessed some people to live very well. And as I said, hey, I'm not no hater. I'm all for people getting on and being successful. But there's a way of doing things, and there's a way of carrying oneself, especially if you're of the cloth, most definitely. Because you have a tone to set. You do have an image to maintain, and you might need to focus on what that image should be. Not star status, but an image that's godly-like, at least. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.